Hi, good evening, Abby.
Hey, okay, good. I just realized I didn't have my microphone plugged in. How are you doing?
I'm doing really good.
I'm so glad to hear that.
Hi.
I've been looking forward to
I
seeing you.
definitely have. How long has it been? A week? It feels like
Yeah.
so much has happened in a week.
Yeah, because I think it was like on Friday, yeah, it was literally like last Friday.
Last Friday.
I can't wait to hear what's been going on.
It's been a lot. It's been really exciting, really intense and challenging all at the same time.
Oh my God, that's good.
Yeah, but all really good.
Like, you tell me some stuff. Spill the
Okay.
beans.
Okay. Well, where do I even start? Um, I've definitely been feeling into that attunement thing a lot more. And in the sense of I think a good place to start. So within my own being, I found there was a reading, but the first reading you did for me, where you found all of these rooms and spaces inside of me. I
Yeah.
found another room, a space inside of me, and
And
this space, it kind of just looked like a dark room, another dark room. But me doing this whole attunement thing is, I guess, it's kind of been attuning me to an aspect of me that has a certain amount of awareness and it's kind of already there, but I'm just kind of just catching up to it. So it's just my awareness is shifting and opening up,
yeah.
but it feels more vibrant and light. So me stepping into this room with this like new aspect of me
Oh
is kind of
yeah.
turning the light on in this space, which is the challenging part of that is now it's the light is on so I get to see everything that's in the space.
Yeah.
And I just see everything that's kind of been hiding in the space and been a I guess afraid and just resentment, things like that. And then I have aspects of myself that, oh, a light just turned on. Let's go to this space. I finally found my way, like I finally found a way out of this space. So I
Amazing.
just yeah, it's been a lot of seeing a lot of new aspects of myself and just feeling new aspects of myself and
Wow.
I guess spreading the love to these parts. So
That's a
it's been
breakthrough.
challenging, but
Yeah. Because that's like a total breakthrough. Like, I am looking forward to those moments when I am suddenly introduced to something I haven't seen yet.
mm,
Because I'm so used to what I'm familiar with. So then to be able to grasp something that's new to me, because I've worked so hard to see that it almost like maybe that of what I have seen gets in the way of seeing something I haven't seen before. So when it happens, it's like, yes, new. And that's so would you call this like this aspect of yourself like a higher self, or just like because it's vibrant, and or is it just you are vibrant now in a new way and your light is opening up the light in this room so you can see other stuff? And what do you think?
I think it's both. I think it's
Yes.
totally both. I What day was it? I think it was Tuesday, another experience where I'm just sitting down casually um in a journey state. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember exactly what it was, but you were a part of this journey, and then there's a spirit guide that I named Justine,
Oh,
who is a
neat.
part of this journey. And there was something I had a realization about with you and Justine. It's not like you are Justine or
Yeah.
she is you, but it's kind of like how you told me, yeah, Isaiah, you Abby is a part of me. Like you're a part of me, but I
Yeah.
also felt like you're a part of Justine. But it was in a sense of feeling, oh, Abby's been a part of this space and this journey with me for longer than I realized.
Yeah.
But me
Oh,
having that realization, there was, I guess, what looked like a bunch of beings kind of just came out and they almost inspired me to have the thought. They put out the thought to me to see what I would do with this idea of you and my
yeah.
other spirit guide and to see if I would create the realization.
I see.
And me doing that was kind of like, in a sense, a test. And they're like, well,
Mm-hmm.
Isaiah, do you realize you just did something that's like pretty advanced? Like, why are you not surprised by this? And then the whole journey stage just kind of started changing and I started to connect to this aspect of myself that felt very, it's kind of intense.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I felt like he was sharing a lot of what felt like memories or just ideas of there's things that are hard that you're working through in this present moment, and I want to show you like why those things are present in your life.
Yeah, yeah. Interesting. Man, I'm so blown away.
Yeah,
Very
it's
exciting. Very beautiful.
there's definitely an excitement to the experience, but I'm still trying to like catch up with the excitement because
I get
it's
it.
kind of like you get excited about something, but then something intense happens right after. So now, oh wow, I have to deal. I didn't get to enjoy the excitement that long.
Yeah. Isn't that interesting how that happens? Or sometimes like life like crunches you and you're like, ah!
Mhm.
And then somehow like a few days later, it's like this good thing just avalanches in and you don't know if it was because you just couldn't cope or you couldn't handle it or if it was the crunch was part
uh,
of the release that got you to the good thing or maybe now for you this like exciting good thing is bringing so much light to all these other places that it's bringing out the that dark stuff is starting to find its way out because the light's touching it now. So it's
mm,
only inevitable, you know, that stuff moves like that. And we always say, man, I just wish I had more time. And then there's stuff in life where we have lots of time and maybe we take advantage of that without realizing it. And then we look back and say, wow, I wish I had more time with that. And I actually had
mm,
plenty of time with that. It's just life, you know? So,
yeah, it's beautiful.
yeah. So I'm going to do some energy work for you. Did you want me to look at anything in particular or you want me to just keep it open? About maybe Justine or this vibrant side or what's happening in Isaiah's world, or we just the higher wisdom will
Mm,
probably tell us no matter what.
feel like I really do like the idea of just a general, just because I like,
Sure.
okay, well, what is spirit feels the best for me to hear?
Yeah,
But then there's
yeah,
also parts of me that's like, oh, but I wanna see how she interprets Justine.
yeah,
So I guess I could get a general from
sure.
Justine.
Yeah, I love that.
A
We could do
general,
both too, you know.
we'll do both,
I'm
yes.
gonna go to Justine and see what she's like, and then we'll just see what the open wisdom is.
Okay.
It'll be fun. And you're doing journeys today too. So did you
Doing
want
journeys
to?
today.
It's
You're
kind of
gonna be my
interesting.
client.
I'm your client.
Your
You're my
client.
psychic professional. That you're my regular psychic professional. So you get to do some kind of reading for me and throwing ideas out there about you visiting my higher self. I'm gonna see, I'm gonna go visit Justine and then see what the wisdom is. And maybe you and I can figure out an interesting, like maybe I'll just like chill with it. Maybe things are different today than they were when I
Mhm.
wrote that email. And maybe I have a different question for you that I didn't think of, you know? But you're gonna do
Yeah, see
so
what your
awesome.
intention
And
is.
yeah, I have to find out what my intention. Okay, I'm gonna do this for you, and then I'm gonna explore what my intention is for you to help me today. And then we'll see where you go with it.
Okay.
You're gonna do so good. I'm gonna receive something from Isaiah, like a real reading. That's so cool. All right, here we go. So freaking excited for you too, by the way. Okay, I'm gonna calm down. Oh, okay. So I'm on my way to Justine, but it's more like it could be anything. So I'm literally moving through, I don't know how to describe it. Like all these boxes seem to be falling from the sky even, and I'm just like barreling through and it's like like I'm running into stuff and it's like falling off the shelves, and it's really tall shelves, like cosmic shelves, and they're like falling off into my face and they seem like boxes and I'm like a car driving through all these boxes. And so that's what's happening right now. And my guides say, where are you going, where are you going, where are you going, where are you going, where are you going? I'm like, oh, am I like conflicted because the intention? I say, okay, I'm going to be solid here. And I tell him, I'm going to Justine right now. Okay. And suddenly I stop moving and all of time stops. And suddenly Justine is like, whoosh, and blows these shelves and all these boxes out of the way. And she's this like super bright star being. I mean, she's phenomenal. Like I don't see myself in her yet, but I'm gonna say yeah, it's totally that I see me in her because she's so amazing. So she's like this cosmic, feminine, cosmic star being. Because what I love about the way she looks is, to me, she has like white hair and it's very long, and then she has these white bangs, and it's that natural kind of flow to it. And she has elvish ears, and her eyes are just like these teal gemstones, and she's phenomenal. She's got like a lavender colored skin, and I'm just in awe of her. And she starts to get smaller because I guess obviously I see her as this big cosmic being. So now that she's getting smaller, I'm just like, oh, it's reminding me of that conversation we had about how we're the same height. We're like equals, you know? And but what she does is she goes even smaller than me. And now I'm like a cosmic being to her because she's like very small and I'm like enormous. But I tell her, I was like, nah, I don't buy it. I don't have the like elvish look and the lavender skin and stuff. I'm just like a basic person. And she's like, oh, cosmic being. I'm like, kind of basic, man. You're like, whoa, like this. But I get it actually. And then I see you, Isaiah, and you're standing next to me, and we're looking down at her. She's just really tiny. Justine is. And you say, Justine, I love you. And you take your big, massive hand and you put it down to the ground, and she just jumps into it, and you bring it up, and she's like a little ant in your hand. And she says, oh, thank you. Like gratitude, like deep humility and gratitude. Like, thank you for holding me. Thank you for carrying me. Thank you for lifting me up, she says to you. And you say, this is, it's like life is such a paradox because like you see yourself as this basic regular person, but to someone else you're like this cosmic being that is literally lifting you up. And then to another viewpoint, you are the little person to a bigger cosmic being, and it's like such a paradox. And you place Justine on what is defined as a pedestal, and you put her back in her cosmic starlight and say, and don't make yourself smaller than you really are. Like, you are a cosmic being. And she's struggles with with confidence, which is interesting because I would not see myself as a cosmic being, but other people might see me as that. And so it's interesting because you're playing a role of helping me to see myself as a cosmic being. So there is an interesting mirror between me and Justine, and even for you too, and how all of this works together. It just goes to show that like we literally are like, it's the big machine. It's not like this ruthless, scary, dark machine, but life is like we're all cogs in this like extraordinary machine. And the machine is like running and functioning. And sometimes we like roll our cogs into each other and we just move the machine in new ways. And it's so exciting, like how we impact each other. And so she's actually in the big starlight, and you're telling her to be one with her cosmic light. And she's on this swing, and she kind of is like a bird on a little swing in like a bird cage, but she's not really caged. But her swinging, it kind of makes me think of that. And she kind of giggles a bit, like maybe she likes to be small sometimes. Like maybe she doesn't need to know if she's a cosmic being or not, because to her, she likes to be small sometimes because she just likes to be small sometimes. And she likes to like look up to others and see the cosmic being in others. And she doesn't want to just be the cosmic being all the time. Like, she likes to be small too. And she says that like, ooh, sneaky, crafty, she says about you, Isaiah, like, how'd you know I was really a cosmic being? I was playing the small person, I was playing the little person, and you knew I was cosmic. How'd you know? But then she kind of shows that when she plays a smaller role, or she likes to be smaller than she really is, it can she can get, I guess you could say, a little bit manipulated by the decision. So sometimes she loses her path when it comes to confidence and self-esteem because she chose to be small, and she likes it, only to find her way back to herself so she can decide if she wants to be super big and cosmic or just a small person again with like a really strong confidence in herself. But if she has then confidence in herself, then she doesn't really need to look up to anybody. She doesn't need to be in awe of others as cosmic. And then she doesn't get to enjoy all these strange paradoxes of our heart and our perception and that sort of thing. This is really good because it's giving you the ability to value different ways in your life where you've chosen to be big or small, and what maybe on the path might have challenged you to lose track of yourself, only to find yourself again, and now get to decide what you enjoy about being alive here in this type of plane of existence. And she says that what you're teaching her, Isaiah, because you're a master, she calls you a prophet. And she says that what you're teaching her is that it's her time to be cosmic. And that makes her nervous, she says, because this is also, it's almost like she's a part of me, because I hear myself saying this inside myself as I hear it, her saying it outward. And I know that what you speak is the truth, and I keep seeing you as literally, you're defined as a prophet. And my human self is, I really like that word, and I don't think about that word or reflect on that word pretty much ever. As a person on a Christian path, is my upbringing, obviously I've heard that word before, but I want to interpret that more for you. Like, that's a pretty solid word. I mean, I love that. Isaiah the prophet. That's freaking cool. I'm just taking this in right now because I really like it. And so she's now kind of swinging and saying that she spent so much time being small that to be cosmic is intimidating her, even though it is a natural state to be cosmic. Um, Sometimes it feels safer to be small in a way, like you start to enjoy being small, but you don't realize how being small creates all these other paradoxes to make it difficult when it comes time to be cosmic. And so she's thinking right now. But the thing is, interestingly enough, she trusts you so deeply that if Isaiah the prophet tells her it is time to be cosmic, she would not ever question that. She would know that it is time. So she's looking at me really like almost like blazing eyes into my eyes, like, Abbey, it is time for you to go cosmic. And it's like, I like just being a simple person, but I get it. Let me see. She's right, and Isaiah the prophet is right. And now she's asking a question. How it's kind of like how does one become their cosmic self? What's interesting is we both now are looking at you because we could call you a cosmic prophet. But for some reason, energetically, the prophet energy is like the right vibration, because there's a humility, there's a deep wisdom, there's the enlightened human walking the earth. There's historical sense to it. There's the divine truth to it. There's a earthiness to it. Very humble, grounded sensation. Like, you could only be so honored to meet such a profound prophet, Isaiah. Like, it just feels, I like the earthy and grounded tones of it. This cosmic energy is like, man, it's like everybody would want to be cosmic, but it's like, why wouldn't we want to be earthy too? Like, we forget about all of the many sides of that like disco ball, that we get to explore all those different hats, and all of them are freaking awesome. That cosmic is more like, to be seen in by every single person on the planet. It's to be a star that is seen, is has its own responsibilities to it. And how to balance that and be human is like a big job kind of thing. But the prophet is like, an organizer of sorts of energies, an organizer of thought, an organizer of stability, that even could organize my overwhelming sensation at times of what this had to become, this after becoming small. This isn't interesting because we're talking about how we work together, how you've come into my life and I've come into your life, and how we build upon something through these exchanges. And then, I mean, how everything grows, literally. I say, Justine, you're awesome, and I'm so glad I got to meet you. And she's like, I'm not going anywhere. And she's just like swinging back and forth in this like super bright light. And she's still small in this like super bright light. But what's interesting is I feel like you represent something grounded for her. So interesting that she would be like a spirit guide, but you're more like soul friends, like I really get that, because getting to meet you through the session, it's like very obvious we're familiar with each other, because it's just so easy to talk to you. And we're both very, I mean, you're very talented at what you do. Like, we have a same style, like a similar style of expressing and valuing wisdom and healing. Like, we're in that sort of framework, the same page. Okay. What else? What is the meaning of the boxes in the beginning and the shelves? Was there anything to that? They say, well, obviously, sometimes we create blocks that aren't real in order to delay passage from one experience to the next. And there was a bit of a delay or hesitation because, I guess you could say, this is what I find when it comes to knowing what you want. Like, eventually you have to just say, this, I'm making a decision and this is the decision. And then you have to be solid with that. You can't be kind of there. You have to be 100% there. And so apparently when I was going to visit Justine, I was kind of a bigger message, Justine, like, I'm just going to keep it open. It's like, no, I got to make a decision. Where am I going? And so it was like creating a block that wasn't really necessary. It just was still too undefined. But we're in a cosmic space. We're understanding what it means to be cosmic. We're understanding what it means to be small. We're understanding what it means to be a prophet. We're understanding what it means to be all these roles and to value each other, and the paradoxes that we get to experience and how fun it is at the soul level. Anything else we can share with Isaiah here? Don't doubt yourself, not even for a minute, because I see the mirror and I see you. You're like somebody straight out of the Bible. Like, you're straight up like prophet. You're biblical, man. And you represent like a messenger from God kind of thing, like a messenger of light. And that light is medicine for people's ears. It's medicine for their hearts. It's medicine for their traumas. It's medicine for their soul. And you have us, you are, I can tell even when I first connected with you last week, you calm me down, man. I feel like you have a power to calm people down, because I'm just like, like this, and you're just like, you make me feel like cool, like chill, you know? And I like that. That's a solid person. That's a grounded energy that you are. You're like a grounding stone and a person. It's really refreshing. I like grounding stone people. They're really nice to be around. That's a power, man. You should know that about yourself, that you have a grounding nature, and that is like a power of your energy, and people will feel it. People will just feel it about you, and they'll like that about you, and they'll like being around you because you make them feel calm and collected just by just being you. That's an important thing. So that's it. Let me see here. What what do I want Isaiah the prophet? Oh man, this is so cool. Okay, let me see. What is it that I want you to do a reading for me about? I'm going to just pause for a minute. What do I want to know today? What do I want to heal today? Okay, I am asked to ask you to help me feel a better relationship with my angels. That's one thing that I really can't sense my guardian angel, even though I know like it's like a no-brainer. My angels are here, my guides are here. And sometimes I get so focused on just just like just movement, life, that to just really develop this connection is something I feel called to ask you to help me develop a closer connection and relationship with my angels, which I would love for you to maybe visit one of them and tell me what this angel's like and what they want to tell me.
Do it. Do it. Want a
What do you think
closer
about?
connection
Yeah,
with the angels. First of all, that reading, it was like a reading for all three of us. It was so
it
cool.
was. It
Really
was.
cool. Thank you so much.
And thank
Isaiah
you.
the Prophet.
Yeah,
Still still registering me.
yeah,
Wow. You got to meet Justine.
I
You got to meet
did.
Justine.
I really like her. She does remind me of me, but she's perfectly showing me myself. I have a feeling she's going to perfectly show you yourself. Should ask her more about what this prophet means and how can I explore that more, because maybe you're Isaiah the prophet today and 10 years from now you're Isaiah the cosmic prophet or something. I don't know. We're always like going through these doorways.
Mm,
And but I feel like she's really interesting, really bubbly, deep, really understands what the human being goes through and why we even want to do this with a light heart. And she also shows her vulnerability so that you can understand that she's not perfect. Like she is, she's happy as she is, but that can teach you something about perceptions too, that she's growing right alongside us as well. It's pretty awesome.
I
Yeah.
like the idea of seeing her. I mean, I can understand how she's represented as spirit guide, but
Hmm.
I love the idea of just seeing her as like a spirit friend too.
Yeah, definitely. I really think there's something to this message because it did come up last week and it's coming up this week about eye to eye.
Mm,
And she's kind of giving us a little bit more about, and I really get that. Knowing what it's like to be small is kind of fun because it's a different sense of self, but it makes sense why you can get off track and lack confidence when you choose to be small, because as a human being it kind of means that you lack confidence. And so you got to lose yourself only to gain yourself, but now you're confident But can you be small and confident? Yes. But what does it mean to be cosmic as a human being? How do you even emanate what that means? And you wouldn't, to be cosmic, you would have to work with the gifts of the larger than
Mm,
concept. Doesn't mean you really are bigger than everybody else. It's just a concept. It's one of the paradoxes worth exploring. What the paradox of being smaller or large is to this human journey and how we impact each other, you know?
do you
Yeah.
see you and your angels as eye to eye?
That's a totally different sensation. I feel like I still am working on, I have resentment and like a bitterness because I went so many years feeling alone and abandoned and angry. But in the midst of that, just was completely innocent and just keep continuing the communication with the invisible world because that was the one thing I had. And I kept trusting because I had this voice that always said, like, things will get better, things will get better, don't give up. Things literally went from laughable hard to like Joker level insanity hard. Like they never
Mm.
got better, you motherfuckers. They got harder. Ah! And so I feel like I'm still working on, it's okay that I went through all these years and how that challenged me. And I like the process of becoming challenged in order to embrace the challenge, to heal from it, to ascend to the next challenge, basically. And I know that there's something to that that makes it so that angelic light is so loving and it never left, but I decided that it wasn't there enough for me, or I couldn't feel it, or too angry about what I was going through. And so I feel like potentially a layer there of rejection of that light, even though it's not really what I want. You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
so now you can see what you see about it.
See what I see.
And I mean, see you.
Starting to think a lot of, even just you talking about this is making me think of just a lot of things, but I'm gonna push them aside
Good for
and just
you.
kind of, yeah, and just
That's
ground
what
to
I do
this.
too. Like when I get a client session, it's like, oh man, then I'm going in my head when I read this, but I'm just gonna let it go and we're gonna let the journey speak for
Let the journey
itself.
speak for itself.
Yeah,
Right. You, so you ready?
I'm
You
ready.
ready? Okay.
Yeah, totally.
So you want a closer connection with your angels.
Yes.
Closer connection with your angels. Connect to Abby's angels. Hmm. First thing I see is, I wish I knew the name of this machine, but this is a type of construction machine, and it's very tall, and at the top it makes like a T shape, and on both sides of the T shapes there's a string, and I think they use this for digging, but when one side goes up, the other one goes down, and it kind of keeps switching like this, like going up and down. One side goes up, the other one goes down. It's kind of like a scale. It's a better way to put this. It's kind of like a scale. It's really frustrating. It's almost like you can have a place of balance, but once you put something in one side, it immediately becomes uneven. And what are you wanting to put into this scale is almost like I hear I want to put my faith into this. So I put my faith into one side and then it becomes uneven because something feels unbalanced. It's almost like having faith in something or having hope in something immediately creates an imbalance. Am I able to put, let's take hope or faith. Can I split this up and just put it evenly into both sides? See, there's an even amount in both sides, but they're still imbalanced. There's still one that's higher and there's still one that's lower. You can never find balance with this thing. Okay. So this is kind of putting me in a box. I realize I don't really need to work with this then. If this is only allowing me to see, it's kind of reminding me of black and white thinking. It can either be this or be that. And I don't really want to work with that, especially when I'm working with spirits. So I don't want to work with this thing. So I remove this from the space. But I'm going to take the faith with me. Where can I work with this? Where can I work with my faith that where it feels balanced? I'm gonna I'm going to I'm gonna call to see one of Abby's angels. But I'm really feeling in this space, so I'm gonna try to find Abby's angels. Uh, okay, I'm experiencing me climbing a tree. And when I get to the top of this tree, I just look in the space around me. It's like I'm in a forest and there's just so many trees. You can't, just endless amount of trees. And I'm just in the middle, the very middle of a gigantic endless forest. How am I gonna ever find your angels in this place? Why are they so hard to find? I also am curious if you're here with me. I'm searching for you too. That I asked the question, I'm searching for you and your angels. I'm gonna get down this tree. I'm gonna go to the bottom. I'm gonna sit at the base of this tree and I'm gonna ask Abby's angels to come to me instead. I don't have to search for your angels. They can come to me. And the tree behind me just starts talking and it kind of scares me. It's pretty funny. I just jump up and turn around really quickly and I see this tree. I don't know if the tree the whole time was one of your angels or if the angel just came and connected with the tree and is representing. We're a lot more down to earth than you think, the tree says. You definitely don't have to climb to the top of this tree to find us. We're at the bottom. I want Abby to come to me too. I don't have to search for Abby. You can come to me too. I get really sad because I can feel where you are now. I look at the ground and I realize why you buried yourself. So I just start digging, I start digging, and I find you just laying in the ground and you feel pretty scared too. You feel pretty scared to come out of this hole. And you look very frail and very elderly. Your hair is very long and white. You're so thin. I could see your ribs, and you're wearing a shirt, but it's very torn up, and all of your clothes are torn up, and you don't have any shoes on. Your feet are very, you have a lot of blisters and cuts on them. It's really clear that you've been in this place for a long time. I can't keep searching. You say, look, it's this tree. It's one of your angels. They were here this whole time. You kind of just like grunt like, oh, it's cool. There's an angel, but like, look where I'm stuck in this place. You found one of the angels, but you're still stuck in this forest. Like it's almost endless. Like how do you get out of here now? Like you were acknowledging that they are a part of this experience, but them being here doesn't help you out of the experience. You're still stuck.
Mm.
And you find some sense of motivation, you kind of just walk off. Like, I might as well do this without the angels. Them being here isn't helping me. I'm going to try to find, I might as well just use the rest of what I have left to try to find a way out of here. And I just follow you. I'm getting, the more I follow you, I'm just walking behind. I'm letting you walk around, but I'm looking at the space and it's just feeling, it's making me feel very curious. I asked you, Abby, have you ever just listened to this space? It feels like it's trying to talk to you.
Interesting.
And you just keep walking. Mm, I feel very bad. I stop you from walking. I almost feel bad about stopping you from walking, but I stop you from walking. I say, Abby, hmm, I feel like we both should just sit down and listen to this space. The idea of listening to this space is not making you react. You're almost just numb to the idea of just listening. Listening to this space would involve you staying in the space for longer. You don't want to entertain it at all. You just want to keep moving.
Mm.
Even if you're not exactly hopeful that you find your way out, you just want to keep moving still. Just keep moving. If we sit down and just listen to the space and acknowledge the angel, it's not going to get us out of here. I just need to get out of here.
Mm.
I could listen to this space with you. I'm here with you now. You're not by yourself in this space. And this is new. This is something. Have you tried this before? Have you tried listening? I ask you. And you start to cry. You sit down and you sit down and you're still crying, and I sit down with you. I look up and I just analyze the space. What is the space trying to tell you? This space feels it feels very connected to you. I don't know for sure if this space is just a product of you or if it's or even if you made this space, but it feels very similar to you. Did Abby create the space? I don't think that's it. I don't know if you created the space. Is this space a part of Abby? This space is a part of Abby. There's not exactly a no for that
Mm.
question, but if this space is a part of Abby, then I'm comparing that idea to the goal of you desperately trying to leave this space. And what if you accomplished it? If you accomplished it and you actually found a way to leave this space, then what will you be leaving behind? An aspect of yourself? Oh, then it just goes back to the scale and then something feeling unbalanced. Oh, I finally got out of the space, but now I'm not whole. And then it's going to create another space where I'm trying to find my way out of this space to get back to the next, the past space I was just in, and I'm lost again. It's just it feels like a cycle of just getting in these places and trying to escape and find my way out. And I never seem to just find a sense of balance, like a scale that just fits. And I find that the scale is just it's too black and white. So I remove the scale, try to find balance somewhere else, but I keep getting into these cycles. Maybe maybe the balance is maybe there's too much of trying to find this balance outside of yourself. It makes you laugh. He says, hey, there's not going to be a balance found within me. All of these trees, they start to grow faces in a sense, and they're just all it feels like this entire endless forest. Every single tree within this endless forest just grew a face, and they're all angels. And all of the focus is on us, and it feels like a very giant spotlight. It's intense. It's very vulnerable. And if this space is connected to you, then these angels are already in the space with you. But it feels like this aspect of you, this older you stuck in the space, I already knew that there was angels here, but they aren't really helping you get out of the space. But now we're not too sure if you even need to get out of this space. It almost feels like that space where you bound, that the place where you buried yourself was one of the most. It didn't feel fully balanced in a sense, but it's more balanced than trying to find a way out of here. I'm gonna turn this inside out. I'm gonna bring this this endless forest. I'm gonna bring this endless forest, and instead of you being inside of this endless forest, I'm gonna take this forest with all these angels. We're gonna go in you instead. So this endless forest is gonna be in Abbey, Abbey within this journey, just older Abbey. Mm, the endless forest doesn't feel so endless now that we're here. It's just like two trees. We're looking okay. There's two trees, and there's one that's very thin, and there's one that's very wide, and they're representing two different personalities. You're here, we're here, me and you. We're looking at some form of this very inside of this space with you. It's a very technological sense. There's a huge, advanced, futuristic looking desk, and above the desk is a lot of holograms that we're observing, almost as if we're doing like a scientific study. Like, just looking at this desk, thinking. I start looking around and I'm having almost like a reality check moment. Like, how long have we been looking at this desk? Guys? I echo guys again, and I just see how glued we are to this desk and trying to figure out these holograms and putting them in the right space, trying to put everything together, trying to solve this thing. And what we are solving, it almost seems like, oh, we're trying to solve Abbey. Let's try to make sense of Abbey. And even these two trees, they're involved in this too. But they it's almost like these two angels, which are representing as the trees, they're getting so involved in trying to figure this out because they want to do this for you. So them two that can almost get lost in trying so hard to work on what it is that you are wanting to work on because of how much they care about you, but they too can get lost in this space. It's definitely reminding me of this whole significance of being eye level, calling on your angels to help you with a situation, and they answer, then they too get lost in the situation as you get lost too. I start to examine this desk and I try to find something. I just kind of clap my hands and the holograms just turn off and the light turns on in this space. We're in a spaceship. This place is really cool. Oh, and now the two trees and you too are having this reality check moment. Like, oh my gosh, how long has it been? Where are we? What are we doing? And I tell you guys, it's you could take a break. You could take a break from trying to figure out, from trying to understand. It's very interesting when you go into a journey of trying to understand the infinite space. It's kind of similar to when we're in this forest trying to leave this infinite space. There's so much more we can find and so many more trees and so many more parts of the forest. So how do you understand yourself when you are an infinite being? When you understand something, but then something else just shows itself. Things just keep coming and coming and coming. You get over one challenge just for another one to come and just for another one to come. How many more lifetimes? How many more lifetimes? Mm, I almost see an image of it looks like a race, and at the end of this race, there's a finish line. We dedicate our life for this finish line to be the end of the road. We have a goal to get to this finish line. There has to be, that's almost where the hope and the faith is going into that there's an end of a line, end of a road within, within trying to understand ourselves. There has to be an end of a line. There's a goal we can set. There's a place that we can get to where we understand completely. And things just make sense now. And all of the challenges that keep showing themselves again make sense because of course there's challenges because of this. Because I understand this about myself now. So this challenge makes sense now. But I ask you, would you be would you feel that you are good enough if even if you don't reach that finish line? Do you think that you could feel good enough where you are right now? I ask this to the angels too. Do you guys think that you can feel good enough where you are right now? Even if the goal, you set a goal to help Abby get to this place of understanding, would you be okay if she isn't there yet? Because even if she isn't there yet, she's still exactly where she needs to be. Well, what is this experience? One of the trees asked them, what is this experience? How are we supposed to be there for Abby? They 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 tell you that they hear you always, that they hear everything. You can never really hurt them by what they hear, but what they hear at times does hurt them in a sense of they hear your cries, they hear the sadness, and they have to help you reach this finish line. It it almost means so much to them that it becomes their existence. But they too are creating a finish line for themselves. We aren't good enough where we are right now until we help Abby reach this finish line. But then I see the scale again and it's becoming way, way off balance. Let's take all of these intentions off the scale and let the scale just be. We need to go back down to earth. I think we spent too much time in this, enough time in this spaceship. So I'm getting excited because I get to be the captain of the ship. I'm setting a course to Earth. It was very fun. And we do. The ship is flying towards Earth. But this is it's all happening within. We're still within you.
Mm,
So we're almost grounding ourselves into a more earthy part of Abbey. Maybe there's a Abbey the prophet here too. That
I
we're looking for. We gotta fly back down to Earth. We gotta be super earthy. We're creating Abby the prophet. And then eventually you are gonna be back in space and then you could be Abby the celestial prophet. Right now this is more just a hmm, being okay being earthy.
Yeah.
Being okay being earthy. Your angels eternally. I mean it is hard at times as human beings to understand and feel that our angels are here earthy as well, but they're totally earthy with us. They're just earthy in different ways, but they're totally with you.
Yeah.
When we land on Earth and the angels are ready to get off, they're ready to just go wherever you go. And
Mm,
okay, we set the destination of Earth. This is where we will be. This is what Abby needs. But you're kind of hesitating with leaving the ship. And you ask me, what if I get lost again?
mm.
It's okay. You're not by yourself here. Gotta find what made me discover this reality check moment? What made me come into this ship and realize what we were doing and how long it had been? It made me have a reality check moment. What could help you here? Hmm. Guess it started with me wondering what we were trying to run away from, and if this thing we were trying to run away from had something to say. It definitely did have something to say. You also deserve a break from this. It'd be really cool to set intentions to allow yourself to deserve a break from this. It's reminding me of your email, Abby,
Yeah.
about client sessions. You deserve a break from this.
Yeah. Mm.
Actually, if you're ready to go, if you're ready to leave the ship, if there's anything else you need,
Mm.
you sit down for a second, and I go and close the door that's allowing us to leave the ship, and I sit down with you, and I say, okay, we can see this. We can see this as just a door, and we can just take as long as we need. It's really cool when you get rid of the idea of a goal and that this is a race. When you get rid of those things, you have all the time in the universe, which is an infinite space. So you're not running out of time. So you have all the time in the universe. I take a deep breath. You take a deep breath with me and just release. And I just watch you. I watch you breathe. I'm just waiting for when you feel that you're ready to leave and go back down to earth. And the more you allow yourself to breathe, your body starts to look more normal. You're not as thin and frail, and your clothing is not as torn and shredded. Your body's starting to heal itself, and your hair is becoming more vibrant. You're starting to become more vibrant and youthful. And you look at me and you nod, and you say it's time. So we get up and we leave. We open the door of the ship and we walk through. And the trees, they aren't trees anymore. They just look like white beings. They don't have any wings. They're just white beings, or beings that aren't exactly white. They're just light beings. They both, the two of them, one is representing them. They're both male and female. And they walk towards you and they both hug you. And you start to grow very bright and white with them. And you say that they're sorry They say that they could get lost too. We're sorry. Sometimes when you take that moment to just breathe, you're breathing for us as well. They show how challenging it is to honor when human beings need help. Because there's only sometimes there's only so much that they are allowed to do unless we allow them to do that thing. They can show you so much and support you so much, but then when it when there's a place where it feels like they're stuck, there's a place where it feels like you're stuck, they can as well get themselves stuck in that place too. So it's almost like you both are helping each other. They're really encouraging this idea of being eye to eye. We express this like this with everything. I think human beings are really good at creating levels of what's higher on a pedestal than other things, and sometimes for good reasons. In more of an animalistic way, there is a food chain, and there's animals that are more of apex predators. There's more animals that are higher on the food chain than others, lower and higher. But really, this is just experiences, just to teach us things. Really, everything is eye level. We're eye level with Source, with God too. Perhaps if there's anything else Abby needs to know, goes to a scene of both of us on a farm where we're both in very farm-like attire. We're just tending to this garden. It looks like rows of vegetables that we've planted, and I'm just watering them and moving some debris that's in the area, like leaves, and it's a very peaceful day. And I look over and I see that you seem very frustrated with something. So I put down the water bin, and I walk over to you and I ask what's wrong. Just these weeds, they just keep growing everywhere. These weeds, no matter how many of them I pull, they just keep growing. They keep coming. They keep coming. They keep coming. These weeds, they don't stop. These weeds. Hmm. What do you do with them? You're very frustrated and kneel down and you just grab the weed with your hand, just pull it out of the dirt. You have a bin, a rolling bin that you're just putting all these weeds in, going around collecting them. Have a large metal bin that's just a large metal bin that's just fire inside of it. And you just throw all of them down there and burn them all. Getting so tired with these weeds. It's really exhausting. What if instead we can Do you think we could recycle these weeds? Maybe they're good. Maybe we could do something with them. If we could recycle them into something useful, it's like an infinite amount of things that just keep growing that we can use for that useful thing. If we are infinite beings, and every time we're studying ourselves and finding things, whenever we're finding things, new challenges that keep coming and coming, what if we can just recycle those into something useful for us? So we're always receiving. We're never receiving something that's tiring us. The process could still be tiring. Like we're still gonna have to work through pulling out the weeds and pulling out each weed and doing the recycling process, which can be tiring. But at the end of the process, we're still going to be receiving something good. It's like this garden is another aspect of you. This garden is really working a lot with your heart. We both start to get pretty excited. Like, what could we recycle these weeds into? It's making us think, and it's exciting because it's getting us to move creatively. It's getting us to think with our creative minds, which is something that almost seems to be a joyful process for us. Like, oh my god, I get to be creative now. These stupid weeds get to help me be creative. Maybe they're not so stupid. I'm kind of looking around in space now as myself, and I'm wanting to find your angels again. I want them to be a part of this experience and see how they affect this experience. When you're working through this process, how are your angels a part of this? How could they be a part of this? In what ways? These two light beings come into this space too, and they're both wearing the farmer attire too, the overalls and straw hat, really big, dirty, muddy boots and gloves. One of them has a rake and a shovel, but it's just funny seeing two light beings. There's two bodies that form like a human type of body, but it's just made of light, and they're just wearing farm clothing. They're very excited too about the creative process. Like we get to figure something out. Not only do we get to watch Abby get creative about what she can recycle these weeds into for herself, but we also get to be a part of this. And it starts off as just the three of you asking, okay, what can we recycle this to? What can we recycle this into? What can we recycle this into? You just keep repeating the question over and over and over, and it's starting to, the space is starting to change more into, starting to change more back into the spaceship again. Like we're ungrounding. We're thinking a bit too much, and it's taking us away from Earth. We're starting to look at this board again. Oh, this hologram board. What could we recycle this into? We recycle this into? We're studying this board and its holograms. And then it was like track of time. guys, guys. Hmm. Kind of stop myself and I step back. Kind of curious. I just let you guys do this. Now you step back as well too, and you just take a moment to breathe. You're starting to be more aware of hmm, how lost you can get into the study. You say, okay, let's take a break. We can figure this out tomorrow. And we all go back down to the farm again. Go back to Earth. We don't know what to do with these weeds, what we could recycle them into, but at least for now we know we could just clean the place. I mean, I say that. I say we all know we can at least clean the place, and we kind of all just look at each other like, do we feel like doing this right now? I mean, the weeds will be here tomorrow. Like I have all the time in the world. There's no rush. I'm not in a race. There's no finish line here. Kind of exactly where I need to be, so I can allow myself to rest. Mm. Actually, thinking of the intention of the actual angels, why does Abby feel disconnected from you? Why does she feel disconnected from you too? You both are. You both have communicated that you're very much here. Hmm. They show me again the forest, the endless forest, and trying to escape this place, and calling on your angels to help you get out of this place. But they're so connected to the process of trying to escape this place that they almost become the place, like they became the trees. They became something that you were also trying to escape instead of something that was here with you. Like I was there with you. They were here with you too, but they were a part of the space. Why did they engross themselves so much in the experience instead of just being a part of the experience? Is that something that they're doing themselves, or is it something that the experience is doing to them? Is it something that you are doing? Then it goes back to the scene again of them studying this this holographic image, and them becoming so engrossed in this image and trying to figure this out for you, and they're almost working so hard that they want to become the experience, try to understand the experience even more to help you. But now it just feels like, well, I'm frustrated because I'm trying to figure this experience out. I'm trying to get out of this place for you, Abby. But I also feel that these my angels are kind of getting distracted and they're leaving me. So it just feels like the more I try to escape this experience, it feels like I'm trying to escape them as well. But it's more because of how engrossed they became in the experience. But again, you allowing yourself to have that moment of taking a break and breathing and returning back to earth, and even just embracing Abby could be Abby is a prophet too. It's helping them as well, which is just bringing you both closer. It's bringing you both closer. It makes them really happy. Mm. How you feeling, Abby?
Oh man, like answer received an answer. Like there's oh man, freaking a lot of things. It's probably the way you would feel like after you get a long
Mm.
session. A lot of people like, oh, well, what am I supposed to say? There's so many things.
Mm.
One of the things this month in particular, it's like the first time I've been getting signs from the universe, and every day it's like the universe somehow speaking to me. And I'm noticing something is changing that's helping me to get out of the way, being so because something in my life made me decide that I was if I wanted it done, I was the only person that was ever, I mean, I can only count on me, you know? So I can't count on God or people. I can only count on myself. And so now I find this like achievement sensation is wonderful because you do cross finish lines at times only to find yourself now in the next challenge, right? And that's okay. But one of the big messages, even God was telling me this, God stopped me. That's why June, I've been so like forced to slow down. And because May, I was so revved up, but also it's important to slow down for more reasons than just, getting work done and such. Like you have to slow down. And I've been struggling with this because I understand that I have to slow down, but what if I don't want to? Like, why are you
Mm.
like God's been forcing me? And because God's been forcing me, and I can only describe it as feeling like slowing down in time is a powerful choice to make. You can speed up in time too, but when you slow down, it was like you were saying, Abby, why aren't you listening to these trees? I know that some part of me somewhere that's very familiar where I would just like, well, what are they going to say? Literally, what are they going to say? And so I know where that kind of statement or that this desperation to get out and the exhaustion and the process to get through the finish line. And I'm not stopping to just because the answer isn't to get out. The answer isn't to keep going. The answer is to actually be still and enjoy that part of life too. And your message is kind of like a sign again, yet another sign. And it's rehabilitating the meaning of angels. I feel like it's preparing me for some event. I don't know, like that I need to get out of the way of myself and let my angels do work their magic for me. Like what a freaking gift to let them finally get to help me instead of me driving the freaking experience that everybody's going to be a part of. And now they're getting absorbed in the experience and I don't even care what they have to say. Like, man, that's really harsh,
Mm.
but I know what created that. And I know that I needed this. this is why I'm asking this. This is this is going to show me something new and fun. It's like the weeds. It was kind of like what I was picking out was it maybe like a self obsession, like an obsession with them, analyzing and understanding and conquering and getting it done perfectly or something like this, when really that is the weed.
Mm.
And then the non, like what is not the weed in moments because of the scales, right, is when we just let some support come in and have some fun with us and receive some surprises and enjoy this dance without having to be so obsessed with it. You know what I mean?
Kind of
Because
like,
that's just, so I'm kind of I'm gonna try this, Isaiah. Like, you're my teacher, right?
mm,
You're showing me my lesson, and my like assignment is to let my angels be a part of my life, to let them show me some things, and just kick back and let some of the blanks fill in themselves, and let the angels have some fun filling in some blanks for me while I just rest and be chill, you know?
yeah, it's kind of like allowing the universe and just your angels revolve around you while still being earthy,
Yeah,
like grounded.
right. I love that vision because you think of angels as up there, but it's so true. They're just as earthy as we are, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Abby the prophet.
Happy the prophet. I'm curious
Right.
how this experience would be for you, like how
As
this
in,
would reflect in you,
mm,
for you,
I think I I come
or as
from,
at least as like time goes on, just what you've noticed from this.
yeah, as in, yeah, from here forward.
Mm,
There's no doubt about it. That's it's sort of like we have these programs that we don't even realize that we have. And so doing a session for somebody, it's like cracking that shell and helping you to get out of that program. So you're helping to me to see a program or a behavior that it's okay that I had that because I wanted to experience that. And now I'm going to be experiencing something that's beyond that behavior. So I can, and again, the reminder of infinite time. And so there's no rush. So I can just enjoy these changes and these processes.
mm,
I believe that what I'm gaining from this is not only the breakdown of a behavior, because when I hear you, like I hear you, like, because I am kind of obsessed with finding um the next interesting thing, and I just found it. You gave it to me. It's like, yes, we found another nugget of gold, man. But what I'm going to do is take this extremely seriously. And it's part of this path of letting the surprises come to me. And I don't have to do anything. I just let it come to me. Because even God was showing me that in this journey last week, where I was kind of like in your journey, trying to get out of the forest, but I was actually just like relentlessly walking through this like desolate land. And I was going to, it's just like, well, God, I don't have time to wait for you to change things. Like, I've got to, if I want it done, I've got to do it myself. And then God's like, you're not going to be able to do it, because he started to change the scenery. And so whatever my path forward was, it was like he was playing a game, and it was like, what are you doing? Stop it. Now I'm on this like log and there's this fire, and God's like, it's going to be forever night because I want you to go to sleep. I want you to rest. And I was like, I'm not. I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna sit here and you're gonna sit there and we're gonna sit in here forever night. I'm like, fine. And so I went and I laid down, and then the earth opened up and swallowed me in. And it was a reminder that don't forget that God is a mom and a dad. And the mom was there holding me in the earth. And I was suddenly just, I don't know why that like hit me emotionally. And I got really, I just started crying because it was that old feeling, that old energy of like, if I want it done, I got to do it myself. And I was upset because I feel like I can only count on me, and I never can figure out how to not to stop just counting on me. And it was so nice because it was like this message to just rest, Abby, like just rest and let us do some of the rearranging. And since I've been trying this, because I was working so hard in May, it's a little bit strange to be working so slow. So I have to adapt to it. But since I've been adapting to this, I feel like every day I get a new surprise. Like you're one of the surprises of my day, where I get to receive some freaking cool message from the universe about my angels and about me. And I get to receive that. Like you're part of the angelic plan. You know what I mean? And I'm receiving direct connection with my angels through you, which is helping me to see a new way of experiencing my life that is going to be fun for all of us, you know? So yeah,
Justine, even Justine, it's interesting.
I know. That's
But
right.
just like in your last Zoom call, you
Mhm.
told me that you were a part of my experience and that I
Yes,
can, like, even in this space, I'm not alone. I could just bring you in. It's totally the same
exactly.
thing with you.
Exactly. I'm
If you
gonna
feel
do
like you don't
that.
want to rely
I'm
on
gonna
yourself,
get,
just call in Isaiah.
I
It
will.
seemed like in this space I was kind of moving around this forest
Mhm.
pretty vibrantly.
I will actually, because sometimes that's like another message about this year in general, is that to remember each other is so important for the growth of humanity. And when we remember each other, it's like, why be one person holding up a mountain when we could be a million
Mhm.
people? And then there's no mountain because it's weightless. Like we're holding up weightless something. Like we all hold our own weight together. We hold the weight and it's like weightless. And so if I can go into a journey and bring you into it, it's like, see what Isaiah thinks, you know? And now I
People,
don't have to just pull it in for myself all the time or wherever it's coming from. Like I have a direct link to a direct person that I know and see what they think. That's gonna enrich my journey experience. I'm gonna be pulling in a lot of different people now. I just see what they think. You can pull in anybody. Why didn't
people in my
I?
life are probably so annoyed by me using this example. But I always tell everyone there was once Abby said that everybody's kind of like a shot glass, and you're as this little shot glass trying to hold this whole gallon of milk.
Yeah,
But
right.
instead, you could just be relying on all the shot glasses you have around you.
Exactly. Was that a Thoth? I think that was like a Thoth message
I
because I
think so,
remember
yes.
that actually. Yeah, that's a good reminder for me because I think as I try to do that a lot and I'm gonna, I'm excited to learn. I'm excited to learn and let this show me itself. Yeah, it's like a whole new way of living and I think it's going to be easier, more breathable. You see, because you gave me this reading, like you could say that I see that in me and I can identify it. But when someone else sees it out of their own experience and then shares it with you in a way that is really identifying, it like it is the nudge that you need to make a weird different change, you know? And it was easy and fun. Man, I take this stuff and I run with it.
Yeah, definitely. It's like I can receive permission for myself 1,000 times, but
Yeah,
sometimes it is good to have that one moment of permission from
yeah,
someone else
it
that'll
is.
just finally push me into it.
It is. It's the truth too, man. Hmm. Hmm. I really liked what that angel said too about it's okay to take a break, like even from client sessions, so to speak. Because
Mm.
I've had that thought, but because my life is just so like I mean, even thought of going and working just a regular job and just doing a different,
Yeah.
friggin' totally different thing, just to just do a different thing. And but so I like that because it's reminding me that we can change the rules anytime we want and we can explore it however we want to explore it. There's nothing that it says I have to do it this way or that way. And no matter what anybody else says that, oh well, why are you making these changes or why are you doing that? It's like, no, because that's what I feel like doing right now. And I don't have to feel guilty about changing the rules either, which
Even though
sometimes,
it'll still be so much meaningful, even if it does change.
yeah, right. Yeah. Hmm.
I'm sorry to all the like YouTube people, but I'm gonna 100% encourage you with the readings. Like if you
Yeah.
want to take a break, you should totally take a break.
Right. Well, I was talking to my future self, who I've really I she came and visited me today, but she's like so much happier. It was like the first time I seen her so happy, and I felt really happy too. Like we both felt really harmonious to each other.
Mm.
And I was talking to her about this because I've been thinking about, should I share client sessions? Maybe, I keep getting this nudge to take a break. I've gotten this nudge for a while. And so we were kind of exploring many different sides of it. And I think what I'm going to do, because I didn't really get an answer, because no matter what I do, it's going to be wonderful, because I was even thinking of reigniting my Abbey Psychic Services channel, because the question is, why did I move things into one place to begin with? And I thought, well, easy access. So people who like client sessions and this, and I can get it all in one spot. And then, so why would I change that? And it's like, well, it's like if you go into a big club and they have different rooms, like here's the techno room and here's the country room and here's the, and then they can actually enjoy going into the different rooms and finding something new wherever they go. And then it was, well, what if we just pruned the tree and I just didn't share client sessions? It's like, boy, it's hard to make a decision like this. And because I don't know, like I like to find ways to reach people in different ways and as much as I can. And I was my she was showing, my future self was showing me myself like a tree that likes to give of its fruit. It's just like it's happy, like it wants to give of its fruit. So why would the tree ever stop giving of its fruit? It's kind of like, why would I just stop doing that? So that's kind of where we left off. But you can see how I have to take time to really reflect on what does this decision mean? What is it that I'm doing, and like what's the most meaningful impact I want to make? Yeah, I don't know. I guess only time will tell, right?
Have you ever read the story of the giving tree?
I'm pretty sure that I have, but I don't remember how it goes. You want to
It kind
refresh
of
my memory?
well, it starts off with a tree. That's kind of like the idea. You just shared a tree that's just so giving, and then why would it not want to give? And
Yeah.
it kind of grows up with this little kid, or the kid essentially grows up with this tree. But as time goes on, I think it first started with him just enjoying the space with the tree. And then as he got older, he would come back to the tree. I kind
Yeah.
of need this wood for this thing. And then he'll leave. And then years later, he'll come back and he's like, I kind of need this thing
Mm,
for like this person I'm with. And then he'll leave. But the more he keeps getting of the tree, the shorter it's becoming. And at the end of the story, it becomes a stump.
yeah.
And he finally comes back as an old man and he's like, I just need a place to sleep. And he
Oh,
just sits and I think passes away, but with the trees there.
wow. That's freaking meaningful, man. Makes me kind of emotional.
At the end, it always made me wonder if the kid was ever in the wrong from taking so much of the tree, or if the tree was in the wrong for giving so much.
Yeah.
But I understand the giving tree, but I also understand if you
Yeah.
don't want to give all the time.
Yes. Right.
And you can
Yes.
definitely always try something without making a decision.
It's true. Yeah. Hmm. This is really meaningful. Hmm. Thank you, Isaiah the prophet.
I'd be the prophet.
Thanks. We're equals.
We are.
High five. All right. I better say
This is like a
goodbye.
session for the both of us.
It is just freaking meaningful. Thanks for sharing with me,
Of
like,
course.
this enrichment. I hope you can see what you're capable of and where you can go with this. It's like a
Mhm.
branch to your tree that you're extending something very, very special into this world.
Thank you. Same with
Yeah,
you.
thanks. Cool. All right.
Ready?
I'm gonna say goodbye for now, but
Yeah,
I
say goodbye.
guarantee I feel like I'm gonna see you again on very soon.
We will see each other again.
Yeah, I like that. Okay. All
Take care,
right.
Abby. Enjoy the
Bye.
rest of your day.
Thank you. You too. I'm gonna send you a link to this.